My name is John Didi, professor of political science at the community colleges of Baltimore County and local political media analyst. Welcome to the Maryland State Politics and Government podcast on Substack. Today I'm talking with one of the candidates for Baltimore County Executive, Julian Jones. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, John. I appreciate your work.
Glad to do this. It's a lot of fun. How is the campaign going?
Campaign's going great. You know, all systems are go. We raised more money than anyone last year, and we continue to build out the campaign. We have a campaign office over there in the Woodlawn area, and we're looking to open another one in Towson. And we've been getting tremendous response throughout Baltimore County. So everything is going great.
During the campaign, when you run into voters, like Safeway, Giant, Home Depot, places like that, maybe small little community forums where you don't know what you're going to get. What are the voters saying are the important issues that they're talking to you about?
Oh, there's no question about it. People are talking about affordability. They're talking about items that affect them every day, like their gas and electric bill and other fees and increases. And, you know, they're like every family, they're sitting at the kitchen table trying to figure out how they're going to pay their bills and how they're going to provide the best life they can for their family and their children. So that's why, that's why we unveiled like our energy plan. You know, I dove really deep into how can we go after these energy bills. And I've come to the conclusion that the way we're going to sort of free ourselves and provide some relief to the citizens of Baltimore County is by this thing called community choice aggregation, where we as a government will have the opportunity to negotiate who we're going to buy energy from and how much we're going to buy it from them for every citizen and business in Baltimore County. And that competition will, number one, it'll drive down costs. And number two, it'll give us an opportunity to make our own deals in terms of suppliers who want to come to Baltimore County and generate local energy right here. Right now, that decision is made by BGE and PJM. And we don't have much say in it other than accept it or don't. So I think that that's one example of how we're going to make things more affordable for the people here in Baltimore County.
To a lot of people, and people really have talked. It's BG&E. You know, they don't understand Constellation, a lot of other stuff. But right now, they're ready to get armed with pitchforks and head down the BG&E.
Yeah, well, you know, BGE supplies the energy. I mean, they deliver it, but they buy it from PJM. So we're sort of stuck with you know, when close to 40% of our energy comes from some other jurisdiction, we're stuck with whatever price they provide. But, you know, that's just one of the things. People are worried about crime and worrying about their kids' education. And, you know, the benefit that I have, you know, having been on the council for 12 years and having been chairman for 4, I tell everybody, and I say this so seriously, I am by far the most qualified person to do this job as county executive. I know every inch of Baltimore County, where we spend our money, and most importantly, how we can do better in terms of growing our economy, provide additional affordable home ownership for people, and make it so that people can come here and live the American dream. Right now, we're in a crisis because 3 of the last 4 years, people have left Baltimore County. Our school population have been coming down since COVID. And this is just a recipe for disaster, if you ask me. So we have to turn things around. And this is the time to do it. It's not a time for novice or people who just think they want to do this job. This is serious business.
I've been asked political leaders this question because I think anyone who's in politics often thinks about this or where they got their start. When you think about political heroes and figures you've had, who are your North Stars, the people that you'd love to walk in their footsteps, the people that you just admired and always thought very highly of?
Well, well, first of all, thanks. It's a very good question. I've had to, I've worked for 32 years in the fire department before I came to this job. And my first hero is always going to be my father. That's the first. Now, there's some other political heroes that you can look at them, and people have done good things, like whether it be Barack Obama or who else? Lyndon Baines Johnson and some others that have done some wonderful things for this country. But my personal hero is always my father.
I can understand that a lot. What has surprised you the most during the campaign?
Uh, what has surprised me the most? I I guess I thought that, I would just lay down my credentials and I would show everybody what I've done for the county and all the contributions that I made. And I just thought that that would be enough. But clearly, you have to go back and remind people again and again. And you have to go back and present your vision. And these things, I guess, is not so much of a surprise. But, I would like to think that we could be more focused on people who have done the job and know what they're doing. So other than that, it's not really too much of a surprise. In fact, not much on the campaign will surprise me because I'm convinced that, there are people out here that will do anything and everything to win this election. And I have a North Star where there's things I just won't do. Just because at the end of the day, I'm presenting myself as a person to lead Baltimore County. I feel very confident that I have the knowledge, skills, ability, and most importantly, the experience to do it. But at the end of the day, I have to look myself in the mirror. So there's certain things I just won't.
Clinton, they often said on a scale of 1 to 10, he loved campaigning at a 10. Barney Frank once said he was about a 0. When you think about love of campaigning, doing all that stuff, on a scale of 1 to 10, are you closer to the Bill Clinton model or are you closer to the Barney Frank model?
I'm definitely closer to the Clinton model. I enjoy campaigning. I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy listening to people's story. I enjoy listening to how I can help them, how, what they say to me, how I can translate that into policies or procedures and, or who I can call to help them at that moment in time. So I enjoy those things.
Do you feel in the campaign there is an endorsement out there that's gettable still, which could really change the pace of the campaign and to trajectory where things are going?
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's always endorsements out there to get. I'm very fortunate that I have a number of people that are willing to endorse me, and we're going to roll those out at the appropriate time. And I feel great that they are willing to put their name to my campaign and my vision and how we're going to change Baltimore County for the good. There's always another endorsement around the corner, and I will be competitive for each and every one.
One of the questions I've often been asking a lot of candidates, it's a 3-letter word that 6 months ago when we talked, and really never came on the radar for a lot of people. And that's the word ICE. Where do you see ICE's role should be in Baltimore County? How do you feel as far as what they're doing? What would you like to see done differently? What role should the county have?
Number one, I don't see the county having any role with ICE other than provide support for the people that live here and people that contribute to our society who go to work each and every day to provide for their families. So that's where the county should be. As it relates to ICE, listen, uh, I believe that if ICE was truly getting rid of the worst criminals and rapists and murderers, I'm all for that. I'm all for it because I don't want any rapists, murderers, or criminals roaming our street. The problem is what I have seen is that ICE is, close to 70% of the people that they are deporting and locking up are people that have been in this country for many, many years, who have broken no laws, who have came here for a better life for themselves and their family. And, when ICE comes along and grab the breadwinner and haul him or her away, and they're left with children here that are, in many cases, are citizens. And who's going to take care of them? Who's going to direct them? Who's going to be their mentors? Who's going to be their heroes? So, yeah, I don't have much. I don't have much support for ICE. I realize they have to do a job, and if it's going after criminals, people that have truly the worst of the worst, as the president have said, so be it. But that's not what I see.
Years ago, we had a gubernatorial primary in Maryland, and it was very competitive for the Democrats, and in many ways, it juiced voter turnout. Do you feel that the state's attorney's race, which is going to be very competitive this time, could have an impact on turnout and perhaps where things will go in the county executive race?
I think there's going to be tremendous turnout, independent of the state's attorney's race, which, as you said, is going to be competitive. The county executive race, which is going to be competitive. But I think what's happened here is people are so fed up with what's going on with, say, the Trump administration and the things that they see. All they can do is protest, make their voices heard, and vote. So I think people will come out and vote. And I think the biggest draw of anybody voting in this elections, I hate to say it, is the guy that's not even going to be on the ballot. But I think people are going to be making their voices heard, coming out to vote.
You're actually the second person who has kind of told me in a way that citizens are talking about this thing, and you think that there is a Trump effect. When people are coming up to you and you're running for a local office, but they're
Right.
talking to you about Trump, what are
Right.
the issues or things they're saying that they're mad about regarding the president?
Well, I mean, listen, I tell you, I talked to a lot of people. I think one of the gentlemen, I talked to a lot of people that obviously don't support Trump and don't support his plans for ICE and deportation, and don't support the rhetoric that you hear on the television screen where you have a president talking about, I can take this country. I think I'll have the honor of taking it. I'll take and do anything I want to do with it. This is crazy talk for the president of the United States of America. And it has shown how far down we have gone. Now, that said, what really gets my attention is when people talk to me and they say, I voted for Trump, I supported Trump, but this is not what I voted for. This is not what I want. And now I feel like I've been bamboozled. Those are the ones that are really paying a lot of attention to, because those were people who gave Trump the benefit of the doubt. They bought into the rhetoric, and now they're not seeing what they thought they would see.
Last question I want to ask is, when you think about the campaign, what would you say is during the campaign your biggest "what the hell was I thinking" moment?
My biggest what the hell was I thinking about? Reminds me of that song. I know what I was feeling, but what was I thinking? I'm trying to think. What is my biggest? What was I thinking? It's sort of hard for me to come up with it. Um, I'm generally the person that don't spend a lot of time looking in the rear view. I try to make the best decision I can, and then I move forward. And I've been trained in the fire service as a fire chief, you make the best decision you can at the time with the information in front of you, and it doesn't do you any good to look back. And you're making life or death decisions, and you have to do them in a split second. So in this political world, I have all the time in the world to think these things through. But what was I thinking, Mo? I'm trying to think. What was I thinking? I find it hard to even come up with something right now, to be honest with you. I'll have to come back to that one. I really don't know.
No problem, because
what was I thinking when I did something? So many times I will tell you this. There are plenty of times when people around me will give me the right political answer. And they'll say, politically, this is the right thing to do. And sometimes those things run contrary to my thoughts and beliefs. And I normally fall down on what I think is right. And sometimes I take a beating for it, because sometimes people will, obviously the right political decision was to do something else, but I'll stand strong with my principles. And I'll give you a good example. And I'll go back to our past Inspector General when we were ready to hire Ms. Khadijah Walker. I felt like it was my job to evaluate the candidate in front of me. It's the county executive job to select a candidate. And even though all the politics in the world was running around saying, no, 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 I did what I thought was right, which was to give the candidate in front of me, Ms. Walker, an up or down vote. And I gave her an up. And of course, a lot of people were upset. But that's an example of where, I would do it again. I'm going to do the right thing.
I want to thank you again for your time today that you've taken, and good luck on the campaign trail.
Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity, and thanks for everything you do, and keep up the good work.
I appreciate it.
All right. Thank
you. Okay. I got the recording stuff off. I have to ask you a question.
All right.
What? Yeah, I'll make it kind of easy.
That's all right. I don't mind.
No problem. But it's like, did you see that poll that Izzy put out?
Yes.
And I was like, there's a lot of, I follow polling a lot, and there's just a lot of holes in that sucker.
Yeah, listen, the idea, number one, I got a friend of mine who gets texts me, and she's smart, and she's going over these margin of errors, and if the margin of error swings this way, you're ahead of Izzy, and you know what I mean? They could have this, and I just replied, they're lying. They're lying. They made it up. Like, there's no reason to get into these numbers, because if you look at that poll, and if you try to, one of the biggest things that jumped out at me was, number one, I expect Izzy to, if I expect him to say he's ahead. Now, if he wanted to try to make it a little more believable, he could have said, I'm ahead by 2 points.
Yeah.
Or I'm ahead by 3 points. But he puts himself ahead by 7 points. So that's unbelievable, number one.
Yeah.
And then unbelievable number two is 16% of the people are undecided. So you mean to tell me we are 100 days out from the election? I don't believe that 84% of the people have made up their minds who they're going to vote. I think a large percentage of the people just have not been engaged or paying attention, or even could tell you who all the candidates are. You and I live and breathe stuff every day, but to that person we talked about earlier, who's thinking about paying their bills, who's trying to make a way, I don't think they're in tune. One of the things that's encouraging to me, having been on the council for 12 years, when I knock on doors and people say, oh, I've seen you on TV a lot, but some of them are even surprised I'm running for county executive. I see you on TV a lot. Oh, you run for county executive? Great. You know?
One thing, as far as a lot of campaigns, I often say a couple things. Usually, the leader with 90 days to go often is Mr. Undecided. I
Right.
can remember the gubernatorial poll. There was a poll I remember that came out during the primary 4 years ago. They said Franchot was up 5 points, and I said no, undecided is up by 6,
Right,
and
right, right.
things like that. And at the same time, people. I often say this: the campaign doesn't start till the first person gets on TV. Then it gets started, because what happens is it gets reactionary. Oh my God, Izzy got on TV with an ad buy yesterday, and everyone's like, we got our stuff loaded. We got to get down to the BAL Fox 45 and start running our stuff now. And I think TV has the thing, because people often talk about social media. The people that are on social media are the partisans. The people
Right.
that are really gettable, who could easily say, I was thinking about this candidate last week, I'm back to another one this week. They're watching TV, they're watching the news and all that stuff. And I just think
Right.
that when I saw that poll, I was just like, nah, I don't think, I don't think you're up that high. And I don't think I think the undecideds are a lot higher. And if I was going to put out, let's just say, a fictional poll, I would have myself about up 1 or 2.
Right.
Because what happens is, and I've seen this, a lot of times campaigns say, oh my God, we're up too high. People are going to stay home.
Yeah, that's
Campaigns
true.
like it when it's close, because there's a sense of urgency.
Right, right, right. No, you're absolutely right. I agree with you. I I would have never done that. But look, I think Izzy listen, he has to run his campaign.
Yeah.
So obviously, they think that that was a good idea
Yeah.
to give the impression that he's the leader. Um, you look at like Nick Stewart coming out with the endorsements back in December. Uh, I'm assuming that's all he'll have. So he has to, shoot him out, shoot his shots as fast as he
Doesn't
can.
Tabco come out next week? I heard
I think
Tabco.
Capco is going to be the end of like the 26th or 27th or something.
Yeah.
So maybe it is next week. So that'll be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I think, you know, sometimes I wonder how important are these endorsements anyway. If they don't come with money and support,
Yeah.
um, what good are they?
Yeah. Because the thing about endorsements is, it's all nice if someone endorses, but are their members going to phone bank for you 3 nights a week for 6 weeks? And that's
Right.
where it matters. Or are they going to come up with cold hard cash? Because an
Right.
endorsement's fine, but it's not like the old days where, oh my God, my union endorsed him, I'm going with him. People are more independent now about that. It's like, oh, okay, fine. I mean, I know
Yeah.
people that belong to Ask Me, and it's like, I don't care what the ASME says. I'm only in it because I have to be in it, but they don't pay attention to what that union says.
Oh, I know. I mean, listen, I come from a place of, I was a union leader in the fire department. And, how many of our members were Republicans? How many of our members voted on guns and other things other than they're paying their benefits? And I used to preach on it time and time again, like, hey, we're talking about who's going to help us in terms of getting more pay and benefit, and you
Yeah,
guys are stuck on guns. You're
yeah,
stuck on something else.
yeah.
But I mean, that's to your point. People, I don't know how important these endorsements are. Um, but like anything else, you'd rather have them than not.
Yep, that's true.
And if you don't get them, then you just move on and keep going. But if you do get them, great.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you get going. Good luck on the campaign trail, and see you in a couple weeks.
All right, and I'll keep you in the loop. You'll see some of my endorsements as we roll them out
Oh,
at
yeah.
the right time.
Take care.
All
Bye.
right.